many members of your own caucus, Madam Speaker, want to accept this deal? $1.8 trillion. Congressman Ro Khanna, for example. Well, let me just quote Ro Khanna, a man you know well. I assume you admire him. He's a Democrat. And he just said this. He said, people in need can't wait until February. $1.8 trillion is significant and more than twice the Obama stimulus. Make a deal. Put the ball in McConnell court. So what do you say to Ro Khanna?
What I say to you is, I don't know why you're always an apologist, and many of your colleagues apologists for the Republican position. Ro Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do, and nobody's waiting till February. I want this very much now, because people need help now. But it's no use giving them a false thing. Just because the president wants to put a check with his name on it in the mail, that we should not be doing all we can to help people pay the rent, put food on the table, to enhance benefits, that they don't lose their jobs if they're state and local. We're talking about the consequences of a pandemic, the symptoms of a problem that the president refuses to address.
But you know,
and that is the coronavirus.
We know
that is
we
the
know
coronavirus.
The problem out there, but there are millions of Americans who have lost their jobs. They can't pay the rent. Their kids need the food.
That's right, and that's what we're trying to get done.
$1.8 trillion, and the president just tweeted, stimulus, go big or go home. He wants even more right now, so why not work out a deal with him, and don't let the perfect, as they say here in Washington, be the enemy of the good.
Oh, man. These stimulus checks, good heavens. These things have affected our mindset, our emotions. Good heavens. Patriots are even losing their stiff. I didn't want to swear. They're losing their minds over this thing. Good heavens. There is these things have been interesting. They've gone for months, Trump kept, pushing and pushing and pushing, the $1,200 bucks. And the $1,200 could have happened several times. Right? So, now they're pushing for $2,000, which is, it's just asking Congress to do what they don't need to do, is print more money. The Hodge twins put it perfectly. I've always argued that it's our tax money that's being given back to us. It's not our tax money. They're just printing it. They're just printing dollars. The furthest, the more you print, the more you print these dollars, the less the American dollar is worth. My wife and I were looking at some British show that has for people. It's like a house hunters kind of thing, but it's people that live in the cities and the towns in England, and they want to move out to the country. And so we were, anyway, long story short, they were giving the prices on some of these things, and I don't pay attention too much some to the how the currency is in other countries compared to the American dollar. And they mentioned, like, one of the houses was like 325,000 pounds. 325,000 pounds. And it just got, of course, it just made me curious. I pulled the phone out and I checked. and that like the difference was like in American money, it's like $407,000 or something along that lines. So 320. So the pound is not only more. We'll call it. Jeez Almighty. The pound is more than the United States. The United States dollar. Far more versatile. That's the word I was looking for. And that's sad. That's sad. They're not even close. They're not even close. But part of it is much because our government is just printing the money. It's just printing it. And you would say, well, why not? Well, because it doesn't mean anything if you just have a bunch of pieces of paper floating around. And the more you print, there's more pieces of paper just floating around. Where's the value? Where's the rarity, even? If it's harder to get the American dollar, then of course the value goes up. But nothing. We're just whatever you say, we'll print. Why not just give everyone $1 million? Why not just give everyone $1 million? Fascinating what these stimulus checks are doing to this country right now. We have hard-working people, normally hard-working people that are willing to just wait. People that, in some cases, would have argued against just sitting around and waiting for money, and they're willing to wait for money. We're losing who we are. We're losing who we are. We are a working nation. There is dignity in work. There's dignity in work. And there are jobs right now. Jobs that fit what you want to do. In many cases, jobs that are a transition. Jobs that are a bridge. Indeed, many businesses have been lost during these lockdowns, this whole pandemic debacle. But jobs are out there. There are jobs, and they are easy to get. We're in a weird, like, kind of limbo right now. We're in a weird limbo right now, where indeed it is not the American people's fault that all of this happened in 2020, particularly the pandemic, mainly speaking the pandemic, and how we responded to it, how we decided we were going to handle this. But I don't think enough people are doing their part to get the country back on their feet. And it's a normal, I suppose it's a normal reaction, well, what can I get? What can I get out of this? But right now, I don't think enough of us are digging in to recover. And Congress, particularly Democrats, know that. Particularly, they know that. And that was Pelosi at the beginning. That was Pelosi and Blitzer. Blitzer saying, "What's wrong with $1.3 trillion?" And then she has the nerve to, later on in that conversation, she has the nerve to say, "Well, our spending is different from their spending." What spending? Why are you guys spending? There's the only thing that should happen in this stimulus check, in this stimulus package, is helping the U.S. economy, the people that are suffering in some sort of way, they lost something. That is the only thing that should be in this stimulus package. But they have no shame, none, to talk about their spending. On the last program, I gave you, some examples, some of the main examples of it. I mean, seriously, listen to this: 505,925,000 to Belize, Costa Rica, and El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama, all these south of the border countries that have really nothing to do with us other than they are connected, physically connected to us. All right? And you can argue Panama because they build a canal that goes right through their country, and which actually means they're not connected to us anymore. So why are we even bothering? That was me being silly. 505,925,000 to those countries to address key factors that contribute to the migration and unaccompanied, undocumented minors of the United States. We're going to fly minors. We're going to ship minors, and I don't mean coal miners or gold miners. We're going to have children shipped through the United States. How do I know that? Because we've already done that. We do that. We go get people that aren't supposed to be here to be here. That's what we do. We've done that. We've sent planes to go pick up children, fill it up with children, fly them here, turn them into anchors. That's the kind of stuff that is going on. Gender studies in Pakistan. That's in our stimulus check. The omnibus bill that goes with the stimulus check. We're fixing a boat in Sri Lanka. What are we doing? We're worried about. So many of us are worried right now. I look all over social media, and the jokes are out. Oh, only $600, only $600, only $600. We wanted 2,000. That's what the president said. If we took out all of the extra spending, all of the needless, unnecessary spending, we took that out. We can give people far, far more money with the dollar amount that Congress agreed to put out there in this stimulus package. We can give them far more than $2,000. We can give people far more than $2,000. But why are we waiting for $2,000? Why are people waiting for the $2,000? This is the helicopter money that Andrew Yang was talking about. This is just, the concept of having a helicopter and flying it over a state or city once a month and just throwing money out. That is the universal. What do you call it? The universal payment. What have you, which is a handful of money for each resident because they can't get work. But the problem is that they can get work. The jobs are out there. All right? Again, you may have been doing something and you may not be able to find the exact same thing, but there are transition jobs, the bridge jobs. the jobs are out there until that something that you want to do can kind of pop up again. But we're not all contributing. And instead, we're encouraging Congress to give more money. Just give. Because, we're not working. This is your fault, Congress. In fact, it isn't. The pandemic, it's hard not to blame China. It's hard not the Chinese people stop being an idiot. But it's hard not to blame the government of China for what is going on worldwide with this virus. All right? And we're cowering in corners and waiting for dollars that, just like, again, I go back to the Hodge ones. They're right. This isn't our tax dollars anymore. I always joke and say, our government, what do they manufacture? Well, they obviously manufacture dollars. They obviously manufacture dollars. That is their business. They manufacture dollars. You name an amount. I think the definition of oodle is a 1 with 100 zeros behind it. I think that's the definition of oodle. So why not print an oodle of dollars and just hand it out? And just hand it out. Just print it. Because that's what's happening. There's no way in the world that if we took every single person from the lowest paid human being in the United States on average to the highest paid human being on average in the United States, if we took every single penny from those people, we could not pay the money that is in this stimulus package. We could not. We could not cover what is needed for this stimulus package. Every single penny from every single working person in the United States, we could not. We wouldn't be able to cover it. Which means that look at your smallest child in the house. Go look at the face of your grandchildren and thank them. And thank them because we have just put all of the burden on not only them, on not only those little children, but any little children that they have that burden will be on their shoulders. And any little children that those little children eventually have. I think it's easy to say that we're probably going to go through 6, 7, 8 generations before we have anything from this particular stimulus package. And all of the spending, all of the debt that we're in right now, the 6, 7, 8 generations is you can laugh at me for even thinking that. But just in this stimulus package alone, 6, 7, 8 generations before any of that gets paid off, it's going to be about 6, 7, 8 generations. So your children will be happy to know that their taxes will be on the rise as they begin to work. If we're lucky enough to be a country where work is still a thing because, again, right now, good people that normally would be like, I need to work, and people need to stop sitting around and waiting for things. Right now, we got people doing just that. And hell, how can you blame them? In some cases, some of these people are getting paid more for sitting around and waiting. Let's look into the stimulus package itself. Stimulus checks will begin out to millions of Americans. This includes $600 per adult and child. A family of 4 would receive $2,400. There is a catch. The monetary benefits is reduced for people who earned over $75,000 in 2019. Those who had earnings greater than $99,000 won't receive a check at all. The legislation calls for additional enhanced $300 to weekly unemployment benefits for 11 weeks, commencing December 27th. Again, that's more than some people were making for working, and in many cases for working more than 40 hours. Sounds sad. You can argue whether it is or not. But yeah, $300 weekly for 11 weeks. 11 weeks. Jobs are now. Between 8, 9, 10, and 11 weeks, will jobs be there? Will the jobs be there again? Certainly not the same number of jobs, but jobs are available now. Temporary pandemic era unemployment benefits program for contract and gig economy type workers will be extended for 11 more weeks, I should say. 11 more weeks. $284 billion will be allocated for PPP in the form of small business loans. PPP being a Paycheck Protection Program. $25 billion is earmarked for rental assistance and extension of federal eviction moratorium. Airlines will receive $15 billion for payroll support. Quick hit on airlines. Airlines are talking about you won't be able to fly without proof that you got the vaccine, the Wuhan flu vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine. Airlines they're running that through. I say don't fly. I say don't fly. At least not overseas. Why fly overseas? It's hard enough for us to handle our own Wuhan flu epidemic. But why would you fly overseas? Why would you pay an airline to fly overseas to countries that you're not certain whether or not they're handling it well, or if there are going to be an outbreaks? So if you need to fly to, like, I don't know, from Cleveland to California because you got family places, sure. But why does the airline get to dictate who flies and who doesn't? Right now, people are getting kicked off and banned because they don't want to wear a mask. All right? Isn't that enough? Now, because you have to get the vaccine, and I'm not saying get it or not. What I'm saying is that now the airline gets to tell you that the only way you can fly is if you get the vaccine that's supposedly not mandated. The government doesn't have to mandate anything. The companies, corporation, good Lord, I hate that word. Corporations will do that for them. The lobbyists, they will do that for them. Ticketmaster, they're talking about you can't go to concerts if you don't have any proof that you got the vaccine. Why go to concerts? You now have a choice. You now have a choice. You either get the vaccine. They're telling you either you get the vaccine so you can come to our shows, or you don't get to come to our shows. How is that even American? I digress. Whole nother show. The bill calls for $82 billion allocated to educational providers such as schools and colleges, $10 billion for child care assistance, $13 billion in increased child supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits. The bill gives $7 billion to the bolster broadband access to help Americans connect remotely during the pandemic. Billions of dollars to assist with the coronavirus vaccine distribution, testing and contract tracing efforts, and healthcare workers. Tax credit to support employers offering paid sick leave. All right, so that's basically, those are the big dogs in the stimulus package. That's not including the ominous, it might as well be ominous, the omnibus bill that was connected to it, which is just a bunch of money going overseas. We're just, again, printing money and just throwing it out all over the world, devaluing the American dollar instead of making it more rare, making the $1 something that you can take into a place and be proud of. It is just now, it's confetti. It's confetti at this point. So, we're losing our minds over these stimulus checks. And indeed, it is not the American people's fault that they went through this, that they were put through, they were forced through this. But instead of everyone throwing up their middle fingers and saying, we're done with the lockdown, we're just going to open up. They can't arrest everyone. They shouldn't be arresting anyone. Just go back. Open your doors. Go do your jobs. Stay out late. The hell with curfews. Just go do it. Take back what is yours. Right now, our government, our governing bodies are telling us, well, you shouldn't do this or you will not do that. And no. Look at it like this. King Cuomo, he's like an endless just tunnel of douchebaggery. Cuomo decides to let 6,700 people go see the Buffalo Bills. Why? Because he wants to go see the Buffalo Bills in a playoff game. He just mentioned it a couple of weeks ago on some sort of conference call about how he went to a game before and it was awesome. It was awesome. It was cool. So now he wants to go to another one. So now he can't just be like the only douchebag like Fauci was at the Nationals game. He can't be the only douchebag sitting there watching the game. So he's going to let 6,700 people into a place where he wouldn't let anyone else in it. Why does anyone care what Cuomo thinks about who should be at any football game? Why does anyone care? But King Cuomo decides to let the little people in to watch the football game. Because, of course, he wants to see the football game. Those are the kind of decisions that are being made. Right? Those are the decisions that are being made. Here in Ohio, the coronavirus, the Wuhan flu, the COVID-19 doesn't come out after 10 p.m. Excuse me. Doesn't come out after 10 p.m. We have a curfew. Yeah, we're not allowed to dance. You might get it. You just might get it. No, wear a mask. Right? Because everyone's wearing a mask and the numbers aren't going up. I think I'm wrong on that one. I know I'm wrong on that one. We are in a nonsense kind of way, and we are letting it happen. We are letting it happen. These places, again, a curfew. Well, they'll come in and shut you down. Then all of these places that have dance floors need to get together and say, we're done. We're open until 2 a.m. The dance floor, the DJ, it'll all be there and open and working, functioning. We will be having fun. Again, they can arrest one person because on one person they can do the frog march and oh heavens, I don't want to be like that. They can't arrest all of you. They can't arrest everyone. There is nothing, absolutely nothing holding you back from doing your business the way you want to do business except you. If you're willing to accept the mandates, the rules, the edicts, if you're willing to accept those, that's where we're at. But as long as we're accepting them, I'm not going to knock anyone. I'm just saying that you don't have to. There's nothing there. The police don't enforce these things. The police don't enforce these things. Most of them don't. Because they're not enforceable. You step out of line, you give them an excuse. And anyway, we'll be talking about this for a long time to come. Like I said, we are in a weird way right now. And 2021 is going to be a whole different kind of hell. 2020. This is saw a meme the other day. That said, is anyone else disturbed that the year following 2020 is called 2021? WON 2021. It defeated us. Excuse me. 2021. Indeed it did. I'm going to keep this one on. Let me change gears here a little bit. A video montage of healthcare workers. I saw a video montage of healthcare workers letting off steam during the Wuhan madness. Collectively decided to the Wuhan madness that we have collectively decided to bow down to. Now, under any other circumstance, I would say they're human beings that have to they're human beings that have decided to help other human beings. These people have decided to help other human beings and their health issues. They help to get these people. So in most cases they're dealing with dark times. Even in not necessarily deadly situations, they're still dealing with people that they don't understand why they're sick or what their sickness is going to do or anything like that. So these nurses and doctors are therapists as well, because they have to find a way. Some of them are better than others to convince you that this is the best way to take care of you, or that this is all going to work out in the end. So this video montage of these people dancing around, which is exactly what it was. The video montage of these healthcare workers just letting off steam. We've seen them before. You know, they come up with little cute routines and stuff like that, and dance around. So in any other circumstance, I would just shh, and I would suggest everyone to shh if you think they're wasting time, or they should be working. Shh. Take that. It's in fact, sane. In fact, a sane human being is capable of finding light in the darkest moments, and that's what these people are doing in these videos. But in these days, during this pandemic of fear, the uncertainty, the lies that are being spread from our politicians and our media, what have you. Should they be doing the video? Should they be creating this montage video? And this is them speaking to each other. This is their language. They put up with enough. They've seen so much. Many of them have to poke needles in children that they don't want to do. There's blood. There's ugliness. There's abuse. These let me. I'm going to explain a scene that I saw in this video montage, which is what probably bothered me the most, other than twerking. But one of the scenes in this video montage was they put a fake cadaver in a big plastic bag, clear plastic bag. At the foot of the clear plastic bag, they wrote COVID-19. And then like 6 or 8 people are carrying this fake cadaver in a plastic bag down through the halls of their workplace. And they're all like, they look like nurses or nurses' aides or what have you. They're carrying this thing on their shoulders, stepping side to side, kind of like like a New Orleans funeral march. Right, so music is playing and so on and so forth, and it is indeed humor, and it is a language that they understand, and other people like them around the country would see this. Other healthcare workers, and they get it. And I'm not saying I'm a prude and that I don't get it. What I'm not sure of is, should it be done? Should it be done? Because there is elderly people that are dying alone in nursing homes and in hospitals. Their families are not allowed to see them, and their energy has been zapped because they're locked away from other people. So on top of that, they know they're going to die because this thing is killing them, and they see it in the news and how this thing is killing everyone. So they understand that as well. So they have to die alone. And so is twerking produced choreography dark humor. Is that the right approach? Is that the right approach right now? I would probably do it if I was in their situation. I would probably do it if I was. The problem is that I'm not. And it doesn't seem funny. It doesn't seem funny anymore. And it's my anger's not with them. My anger's not with them at all. It's where we put ourselves in this situation. I'm not, again, my anger's not with them, and I'm not even concerned about their well-being during this pandemic. That sounds cold, but what I mean by that is that these healthcare workers, they got this. They got this. They understand where they're at. I had a friend posted that she was tired of hearing people say, well, this is what they signed up for. And I got that. I'm not a healthcare worker. I sit outside and I know they're working hard. And and this seemed like a lot of pressure because, the news is telling us, hey, it's a lot of pressure. Politicians are saying, hey, it's a lot of pressure. The professionals, the Faucis and the Birxes, and they're telling, hey, it's a lot of pressure. So, you try to help, buy them lunch, you cheer them on, you give them whatever supplies that you could possibly give them that you think will help them get through this. But they got this. Right? So then they're not afraid. So when my friend says that she was tired of hearing people say that this is what they signed up for, like a couple hours later, I saw a post. And then several times since then, I've seen similar posts. She's saying that she's tired of hearing that this is what they signed up for. But the nurses, the healthcare workers, the aides, what have you, will tell you this is what we signed up for. So we're sitting here in the outside world. And when I say outside, we're talking about the healthcare professionals. We're sitting here and we're watching them be strong enough to blow off steam, tell jokes, dance, choreograph things. And at the same time, and this is where I'm confused and I'm bothered. There's a commercial that I don't know if it's playing, where it's playing, but I do know it's playing here in Cleveland, of like some nurses that are really concerned and they're heartbroken and they really want us to take these things seriously. Then we had those people that dressed up like healthcare workers and stood out in the middle of the streets to block parades of people that wanted to reopen the economy. We held these people up as heroes, and then we get a video montage of twerking, dark humor. What my concern is are we politicizing the healthcare workers? Are we it shouldn't even be the question, because we are. We are. My son was recently in the hospital, and those nurses were doing an everyday thing. They had some Wuhan people, nearby, some people that were affected by Wuhan. I don't know, maybe some coworkers, but they were doing their thing. Again, they got this. But we have the nerve to people on CNN to lie about people refusing to believe that they have the Wuhan flu. And their last words are like, I don't have the Wuhan flu. It's all fake. No one said that. And then to come to find out that there's no real possible way that she could have experienced that. We have these phony people wearing scrubs, again, standing out in the middle of the streets, that were standing out in the middle of the streets for, viral hits, take photos, sending out political messages. Don't open up the economy. This commercial of, a couple of nurses crying, looking exhausted, telling everyone, please take it seriously, please take it seriously. And then we have the video montage, the dancing and the laughing, and so many of them being able to come into work and understand, okay, this thing is absolutely deadly, but we have to treat it like we would treat any other, sickness. There's nothing different. People are dying. People are dying all the time. I don't want our healthcare workers politicized. I'm done with that. The video montage seems in bad taste only because we're out here in the outside world. This is their language. They understand. Other healthcare workers, other nurses, other aides, other doctors, they know what's being said. They know why that's being done. The twerking and the bad jokes. But we can't have that, and we can't have people telling us that you're all going to die. Please take it seriously. We're tired. We can't. We obviously can because that's what we're doing, but we shouldn't. We shouldn't. We should be just flat out just supporting these people. And stop separating them and putting them on sides. So, I don't need Republican nurses and Democrat nurses. I don't need that. I need strength in numbers. I need for us to support them. I need for them to understand that we do support them and that we are taking it seriously. Some more than others. That's neither good nor bad. There's no judgment on that statement. But right now, the politicization of healthcare workers is disgusting. Is disgusting. And right now, some of those healthcare workers are falling for it. And there's where the problem lies. There's where the problem lies. Is that some of them are falling for it. And they're beginning to think that them doing their job isn't enough anymore. That they have to stand up and be heard. We should have never not listened to them in the first place. only in the sense of because they're taking care of us. They signed up for it. I'm done. Good heavens. I'm really not in a bad mood, I swear to God. I still promise that I want to do a little thing with you all on Sunday, January 3rd. As far as filling in on what happened with my son and giving you updates on what's going on. He's in a really good mood right now. I heard him. He's home for the break, for the Christmas break. So I heard him throughout the house. So I'm assuming that if you guys listen really closely, you might be able to hear him goofing off in the background. So, yeah, on January 3rd, on my Facebook page and on Rumble, I'm hoping to go live around 5 o'clock, somewhere after the Browns-Steelers game, and fill you in and answer any questions that you guys might have, because a lot of people still have questions about his condition, his actual condition, his lifetime condition. So please join me January 3rd to talk about, not about politics, not about news, what have you, but to talk about my son and I can fill you in as to what exactly went on and answer any questions that you guys might have. Thank you for joining me today on the morning flyby. You were listening to A to Jet Noise. I'm hoping I can be here tomorrow. If not, I will see you guys Monday. Again, I do these as I can. And right now, family things going on. And until those things slow down, my consistency is not going to be consistent. So, thank you for joining me. I hope to see you soon. Until then, big hug. Be good. Be still. Enjoy your life.